ARK Supreme is a completely new overhaul mod for ARK Survival Evolved. It brings a lot more creatures and even more challenges I will have to overcome. The mod does not allow you to tame flyers, so if I want to travel it's going to be on foot. Unless I can abuse this aspect a little bit, which I plan on doing. The mod is filled with 9 different tiers of creatures, each having their own boss I must defeat to get to the next tier. This mod is made by a fellow content creator named Woobly. I played ARK Supreme back in the day, back when there were only 4 tiers of creatures, so this is definitely going to be a challenge, and we're certainly going to die a lot and have lots of fun. Hey there, I'm Raxceryte, and I invite you to join me on this epic adventure of mine, as I have 100 days to defeat Wukong the Destroyer, this big samurai looking monkey. I don't want to waste any more of your time, but I must ask you to grab yourself a snack and a drink, consider subscribing, and enjoy the show. On day 1, I spawned in the central location, and unlike any other story in ARK, the first things I did were not the typical ARK shenanigans, but instead, the first thing to occur on this epic adventure was me immediately getting chased by raptors and being killed by a giant delta ant. Oi oi oi! Hey, wake up bro! Hey! No! Oh, that's not good. Can't you see we're off to a great start? After I respawned, I could finally do the usual beginner ARK shenanigans like my heart desired.
Quick word from today's sponsor.
Before we get into today's shenanigans, I must tell you about the mobile RPG that's taking the world by storm. Any guesses? Yep, you got it. Raid Shadow Legends. The epic RPG with over 80 million downloads worldwide. And guess what? It's completely free. But what really sets it apart is the Doom Tower, the ultimate endgame challenge. The Doom Tower is a massive prison created by the Arbiter to contain the world's most dangerous villains, and it's up to you to stop them from escaping. To climb to the top, you're going to need an army of champions. The bosses are tough, but experimenting with different strategies is half the fun. This May, Raid Shadow Legends is hosting an egg hunt event. But these aren't just any old eggs, we're talking dragon eggs. To join the hunt, download Raid Shadow Legends using the links below and head over to egghunt.plarium.com between April 14th and May 15th. Enter your player ID, journey through the portal, and embark on an AR adventure. If you find the hidden egg in the dragon's lair, you could win amazing rewards with a total value of $20,000. And existing raid players can go to egghunt.plarium.com to find a special promo code that anyone can use to earn a small gift in-game. Don't hesitate, download Raid Shadow Legends now using my link in the description or scan my QR code to unlock incredible bonuses, including the exclusive champion Talia from the Sacred Order faction, energy refills, skill tomes, and XP boosters. Once you're in the game and crushing your enemies, come find me under the name Raxceryte. Join my clan and let's conquer Raid Shadow Legends together. Now let's get back to those shenanigans you were drilling for.
The shenanigans consisted of me gathering a bush, picking up a stone, and punching a tree. After I did that, I made my first pickaxe. I then hit a rock for flint so I could make my first hatchet. The main reason I really like Crystal Isles is that there's crystal almost everywhere, and even though some of the crystals are not real and aren't harvestable, there are still some nodes that are. So I took my pickaxe and harvested some crystal nodes and ended up with 2 crystal. A cool thing about either this mod or the map, I don't really know, is that the bushes actually give rare flowers as well, which is pretty sweet if you ask me. Then I made a cloth shirt and pants, and became the human form of Raxceryte. Hirochi also joined me. Somehow, on day 1, believe it or not, I actually found a spot I'd be okay with calling my home. There were a lot of rocks to clear to make this dream of mine come true, however. So I placed down a storage box to hold all of the stone I would soon collect. 1 rock down, then a second rock down, then the 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th, and 2 metal nodes. I ended up with 725 stone and 69 metal. Nice. After that, I crafted up a spear and a campfire. I placed the campfire next to the storage box and went on my first hunt. Although this hunt isn't going to be in my favor. In fact, everything that could go wrong on my hunt did. The first disturbance was a delta ant jump scaring me. I thought to myself, okay, it's whatever. I'll just respawn and find my base again. Right? Wrong. When I respawned, I was in the middle of a hyena pack and 2 apex saber-tooths. So I respawned again. This time, I was demonetized by an alpha ant. This was a lot of trauma, but at the end of the day, I finally got back to my base. Let's hope that nothing like that ever happens again. On day 2, I crossed the ravine that was near my house, hoping that the other side would be pretty peaceful. When I got to the other side, I was contemplating on how to kill a pig, but I decided not to, as there was a prime ant way too close for comfort. So I kept my distance from the prime ant, and out of nowhere, a delta ant killed me. When I respawned, yeah, you guessed it, a group of hungry predators tore me apart. Really, bruh? Oh, come on, dude. Fire lion? Wow. So unique. So I respawned once more, and this time a raptor. And I respawned again, hoping that maybe I can have a moment of peace, but no. I respawned and immediately got chased by a Delta Aloe and a Prime Aloe. No, bro, come on, dude. You're like a mile away, my bro. Eat the horse. Oh, the Delta, okay, this is awesome. Oh, good, they both got distracted. I just love this mod, bro, it's so fun. Oh no, they're still after me though. Man, come on, bro, give me a break. The 2 aloes killed me, and I was just having a blast playing this mod. So I respawned again, and actually, no, just kidding. This mod really hates me. Honestly, there's no way I could get killed by 2 aloes, and then by chance spawn right in front of the 2 aloes that literally just killed me, right? Wrong. I, of course, spawned right in front of the 2 bullies that literally just had me for lunch. I guess they're still hungry. So I respawned and finally got a peaceful spawn. I had to make the most of it, because if I died one more time, I would probably lose my marbles. I found this tiny little cave with like 100 direwolves in it, so I had a good laugh. Luckily, they couldn't get to me. What the hell? How was I supposed to know there's 800 direwolves in there? That's messed up. You guys need some serious help. Since this all started with me needing hide, I saw a packy rhino, and had basically no other choice than to try and kill it. I would have been able to, but out of nowhere, you guessed it, a swarm of stupid ants came and assisted the packy rhino, and they killed me. When I respawned again, I let a basilisk kill me, because I had absolutely no clue where I was. I respawned again, and this time I actually saw something pretty good. I saw 2 apex sabers getting killed by a fire Anki, so I harvested their corpse and even got a metal hatchet from them. Then I picked the wrong fight with a group of hyenas like a moron. When I respawned the next time, a raptor immediately started attacking me, but this cool stego actually protected me and killed the raptor. So I harvested the raptor's corpse, and then got jumped by another raptor. Not again. No. No, get juked. No, no! He respawned. The raptor respawned. I respawned again and got killed by an apex saber again. When will my torture end? When I respawned this time, I was immediately chased by an alpha scorpion. I happened to be faster than it, so I led it to a group of stegos, and the scorpion killed all of the stegos. I managed to harvest one of the stegos before I got murdered by a fire lion. When I respawned again, I got wrecked by an Archie. I was lost this time and had no clue how to get home, so I don't really care about this death. I respawned once more and found a pretty cool hole in the ground with a waterfall. I decided to jump in and try to see where it goes, but I overshot the jump and fell to my death. When I respawned, I found some obsidian and crystal nodes, and even a really big metal node, so I harvested them all as night fell. Then I made a sleeping bag, 2 bows, and 84 arrows. On day 3, I made a bola and an awesome spyglass. After that, I came across an electric battle Dodig just letting a Delta Aloe eat it alive. I tried to sneak past them, but I got stuck on a tree and the Delta Aloe killed me. I respawned again, and this time I spawned next to a prime deathworm boss. So I respawned again, and actually knew where I was for once. I was on this cliff, and I needed to get down, but at the bottom was the prime deathworm, and it was already aggroed on me. Luckily, I couldn't figure out how to climb up the cliff. To get home, I needed to get down from the cliff, but I ended up just falling to my death. So I respawned again. And at first it seemed peaceful, but then out of nowhere there were 2 raptors. At first I panicked, but then I remembered I had bolas. So I bolased both raptors and proceeded to kill them. Then I killed a fire bee, and it gave me the item to summon one. In ARK Supreme, each tier of kibble needs its corresponding honey. So for Delta Kibble, you need Delta Honey, which you get from a Delta Bee or a Delta Beehive, which is pretty unique in my opinion. Anyways, I tamed a Mosschops, and as I was thinking about a name, another fire bee came to attack me, so the Mosschops killed it. This gave me the perfect name idea for the Mosschops, Bee Killer. After that, I killed a Gallimimus with Bee Killer, then another Mosschops. I then put 8 levels into weight so that Bee Killer could carry me and a lot of things we harvested. Later in the day, I found a bush that you harvest silk and plant species Y seeds from. While still trying to get home, I was roaming the side of a cliff, and then the prime deathworm came back. At first, I didn't think it would be able to reach us. I was wrong. The prime deathworm managed to kill both me and Bee Killer. When I respawned, a Delta Pego attacked me. Turns out you can't bola them, so I died to this one. When I respawned for, I don't know, the 67th time, I was being harassed and chased by an alpha ant and a prime ant. I didn't want to get killed by an ant again, so I just jumped off the cliff, resulting in me face planting into the ground. I respawned, again, and was actually feeling pretty close to my camp, but eventually got killed by an electric saber-tooth. At the end of the day, I had finally gotten back to my camp, so I wasted no time by placing down a sleeping bag and then a bed on a wooden foundation. On day 4, I killed 3 ants. After that, I found out that you can collect experience orbs from your previous deaths, which means when you die and lose all of your experience, you can actually get it back, which is pretty neat. Then I started to cook some meat, so I wouldn't starve in the future. After that, I made a forge as well, so I could start smelting metal. I was harvesting metal, and then out of nowhere an apex terror bird saw me and attacked me. Of course you can't bola them, so it killed me. When I respawned, I was hoping to myself that it wouldn't notice my base, but of course it did. I just had to open my big mouth, didn't I?
Enemy spotted.
Yup, you heard me right, the terror bird noticed my base. It destroyed most of it too, and when I respawned, it was still there. So I jumped off the cliff and hurried to a fire styracosaurus for help. The terror bird ended up killing me, but hopefully the fire styracosaurus killed it. They are more powerful after all. Now since my bed is broken and I already spawned in my sleeping bag, I had to spawn in different areas and just hope I could find my way home. First respawn, I spawned next to a Delta Carno. Second respawn was next to the big water hole from earlier. This time I managed to get into it, but turns out it's just a big trap, so I drowned myself. Third respawn, you guessed it, I spawned next to a fire and electric saber family. Fourth respawn, and I spawned in an area where I knew how to get home, but of course it wouldn't be that easy, because of course a fire lion would stop me. Now I just plan on grabbing my stuff whenever I can manage to get back and just find a more peaceful area, because dang dude, this stuff is wild over here. On my next respawn, I was getting chased by an electric saber-tooth, but I managed to escape by jumping off the cliff and falling directly into the mouth of a prime deathworm once more. When I finally got back to my base near the end of the day, I had some good news. The fire styracosaurus had killed the apex terror bird, and the annoying delta ant that also chose to harass me. I am so done with this area. It's obviously way too violent, so I grabbed my stuff and went on a search for a better place to live. On day 5, I finally found a better spot to live, a nice calm area in Crystal Cove. Only threat was an alpha bee, if you'd call that a threat. So of course I killed it. There are a couple of deltas, and even a guardian herbivore. It's really just a fire styracosaurus, but I'll call it a guardian herbivore because if it needs to, it may defend me. The deltas are peaceful dodos and lystros. It's pretty nice over here. So I began production of metal smelting once more and even made a smithy. I expanded the base a little bit and then placed the smithy. Since I already had a metal hatchet, I didn't need to make one. So I made a pickaxe and a supreme cauldron. Then I summoned my alpha bee, then my 2 fire bees. Not that they'll be of any importance to me right now. In order to make honey, I would need the same tier of rare flowers. So for delta honey, I would need to give the delta bee or delta beehive some delta rare flowers. So now that I'm basically settled down, I would need to find a delta bee in order to start making delta kibble. I managed to find one at the top of the mountain thing I live on. So I killed it and it dropped the summoner I needed in order to have my very own delta bee. To get home, I actually didn't know. I was basically lost and I couldn't commit demonetization to myself because I would lose all of my XP. So I searched for a way down and fell off the cliff, nearly dying. I was limping and a Dilophosaurus saw this as an opportunity and attacked me. I managed to bullet it, and then out of nowhere a fire dillo came and killed me. When I respawned home, I summoned the Delta Bee. Then I made 4 Delta Flowers and turned them into Delta Honey. After I had my Delta Honey, I made my first Delta Kibble. With this singular kibble, I found a level 459 Delta Lystro and tamed it. I named it Del Taco. I don't really know why, but I don't know, it just kind of seems fitting. It unfortunately doesn't harvest bushes, but it does get decent thatch from trees. Del Taco started off doing 499 damage, which is pretty decent. It had 29 levels, so I got it to 30,000 health and then put the rest into melee. On day 6, I killed a Delta Dillo with Del Taco, and with that kill, Del Taco gained 17 levels, so I put them all into melee. When I got back to base, I placed 2 large storage boxes and placed down the campfire to begin cooking meat once more. Then I made a mortar and pestle. After that, I did the age-old trick of splitting all my meat individually so they could all spoil at once. When all the meat spoiled, I put it into the mortar and pestle and made 83 narcotics. Then I crafted a Delta Beehive. It's basically just a Delta Bee with no sound and way faster Delta Honey production. While the narcotics were still crafting, I crafted another Delta Kibble and went exploring on Del Taco. A while into my exploration adventure, an alpha pego attacked me, almost killing Del Taco and stealing my kibble. So obviously I'm not going to be storing my kibble in my 0 slot anymore. Apparently you can tame Delta Dodos with Delta Rare Flowers, so I tamed one. Like the Lystro, the Dodo also does not get fiber or berries, and Del Taco harvests trees better than it, so I killed the Dodo. Then I made 20 Delta Trank arrows. On day 7, I killed a Delta Dodo, a wild one this time. Then I made another Delta Kibble. After that, I went to the beehive to craft 7 Delta honey basically instantly, since it makes 6 at a time. With the honey I just made, I made 2 more Delta Kibble, with the total Delta Kibble becoming 3. I made a full set of chitin to better protect myself. Then I made a Supreme Forage, basically a normal forage but like 3 times faster, and it will make some important infused metals for the future, like Delta infused metal ingots. After that, I made an upgrade station, and then 2 crossbows. I then proceeded to upgrade the crossbows to journeyman crossbows using the upgrade station. Later in the day, I tamed a Delta Dillo. After taming the Dillo, I tamed a Delta Jerboa, in hopes that it could harvest berries, but of course it does not. However, it is fast, and I could see it being a fun travel mount, so I decided to name the Jerboa Speedy and the Dillo Dill Pickle. On the morning of day 8, an Apex Jerboa got mad and killed both Speedy and Del Taco. I managed to barely escape on Dill Pickle by running around and eventually going into the water and luckily having the Jerboa give up. While I was in the water, I tamed a Delta Manta Ray. Let's go! And it does a lot of damage. However, it needs a saddle. I couldn't find a saddle for a Delta Manta Ray, or any kind of ray for that matter, so I assumed it would take a normal Manta Ray saddle. The normal Manta Ray saddle, of course, did not work. So honestly, I don't really know what to do, so I'll probably just come back to this. I assumed that maybe I wasn't high enough level or something. Later in the day, I made 2 more Delta Kibble, and then 3 more for a total of 5 Delta Kibble. Then I made an Alpha Beehive. For when I get to the Alpha tier, I won't have to worry about it. After that, I found and knocked out a Delta Carcanos that was near my base. While I was taming up, I harvested some crystals and made some soul balls. I also knocked out a Delta Frog, and as I was putting the kibble in its inventory, an Alpha Sarco started chasing me. I managed to escape it by running away, believe it or not. On day 9, I found a giant Delta Dung Beetle, so you know I had to tame it. After I knocked it out and tested it out, I quickly found out that it is insanely powerful. For a Delta, that is. The dude was doing like 6,000 damage to begin with. It's fast, and even attacks fast, which means its damage per minute is insane. Not only that, but it also does bleed, which is epic by itself. After I killed an alpha turtle with it, I decided to name it Hercules. And just like that, the next clip you're about to see is about how much of an idiot I actually am. Ooh, that's not good. That was stupid. That was so dumb. You literally just named it, you moron. I attacked a Prime Dillo. It was level 68, so I thought I could win. I was wrong. Rest in peace, Hercules. We barely even knew you, but we miss you dearly. When I respawned, I made 4 yellow narcotic, and then 4 yellow trank arrows. Then I made a Delta Carcanos saddle and named the Carcanos Zeltron. Zeltron does about 3,000 damage to start with, so that's pretty good. On day 10, I made a Delta Frog saddle for the frog we tamed earlier. Then I named the frog Rubik's Cube, which I thought was pretty clever. Rubik's Cube is a pretty weak but fast mount. Later in the day, I got chased by a tank. That is basically just a Prime Guardian boss, so that was nice. After that, I came across an Alpha Megalodon, and I was about to attack it when Rubik's Cube got slaughtered by a Delta Aquatic Mantis. This caught me off guard, because I honestly did not think they were aggressive. When I got home, I made 10 more Delta Kibble. Then I killed my first Resource Golem. It was a pretty decent fight, and the Resource Golem definitely put up a good fight, but it eventually did die. When I harvested it, I got copper and adamantium ore. On day 11, I found an island with a bunch of Delta Trikes and turtles, so I spent some time killing them with Zeltron. I even killed another Resource Golem while on the island. After a while, I had found a good level Delta Trike, so I knocked it out and tamed it. When it tamed up, I named him Exo. On day 12, I made a Delta Trike saddle for Exo. Then I tested out Exo, and I finally have a tame that can harvest berries. After my first harvest trip with Exo, I came back with 2,000 wood, 13,000 thatch, 11,000 narco berries, and 23,000 medjo berries. I then made a long neck rifle and upgraded it to journeyman with 395% damage. Then I made 6 more Delta Kibble. Using the Supreme Forge, I made my first batch of 10 Delta infused metal ingots. These will come in handy in things like saddles and tools. Speaking of saddles, I made a Delta Theory saddle that I would never use. Exo does around 2,700 damage to start, and can actually harvest corpses, which is pretty cool. You can harvest a corpse too, that's pretty awesome. When I got back to base, I made a meat spoiler so I could spoil my meat faster. Then I made 93 healing narcotics. These would later be turned into healing darts when I get the materials for them. On day 13, I made a delta pickaxe and hatchet. According to the game, these will gather 2 times the resources of a normal pickaxe and hatchet. Not only that, but they are also unbreakable. I also made a delta glide suit. After that, I killed my 3rd resource golem. Near the end of the day, I went on an epic journey of taming a crystal wyvern. They're one of my favorite creatures to tame, just because it's so unique when you do it right. The right method, in my opinion, is to get on the wyvern's back and then lie down on its neck. Then you feed it crystal whenever it gets hungry. The wyvern will fly around and you probably won't fall off. Either way, it's a pretty cool experience. On the morning of day 14, I had finally tamed the crystal wyvern. I named the crystal wyvern, well, Crystal. Then I traveled over to the snow biome to kill some penguins for their polymer. With the newly gathered organic polymer, I made a soul gun. After that, I knocked out and tamed a delta aloe. When she tamed up, I named her Baja. Then I made a delta aloe saddle for her and tested her out. She does around 3,200 damage to start, which isn't that terrible. Later in the day, I crafted 60 healing darts and healed Baja and Zeltron. I think we can both agree that Zeltron really needed some healing. Days 15 through 17 were unfortunately not recorded because I'm an idiot. There were many events that happened, but I have just no proof that they did. However, here are some of the things that I can show with a video. On day 15, I made an awesome teleporter and the remote. I also built a greenhouse for future kibble making purposes. I made the base a bit more appealing to the eyes. On day 16, I upgraded my crossbow to 392% ascendant. I also made 11 more kibble and tamed another delta dung beetle, which I named Hercules II. On day 17, I tamed a male aloe so I could start breeding soon. I also made a fabricator and added an area for the ACs. Then I made a generator room near the back of the house and brought power to the house in the form of lighting and power to the ACs. On days 18 and 19, I started the breeding process for the aloes. So say it with me, breeding montage! On day 20, I had the Delta boss fight. It was a pretty easy win. The boss was a Jerboa, and I think I may have overkilled it a little bit. Alright, it is time to fight the Delta boss. Alright, so they are all healed. I think we are ready. I've got my mount over there. It's actually just the 10 melee mutation. I leveled a lot. Has over 5,430% melee. So I think we are basically ready. I'm gonna go find the inventory over here, and then I'm gonna put these in, and I'm gonna start it, and then quickly get over here because I don't want to die. Also, I have 6 saddles, but I have like 80 or 90 of these aloes. Damn! After the boss fight, I planted the alpha seed so they can start growing. Then I made the first batch of 56 alpha infused trank darts. I also made a fireplace since I forgot to make one in my last 100 days. So here it is, and it looks as marvelous as ever. Then I made some tame potions so I could tame stuff faster. This decision was a no-brainer. I got 773 organic polymer from a Delta Carcanos and didn't even realize until a while later. Oh, the Carcanode. I would love to breed them and kill their babies for basically infinite organic polymer, but unfortunately Carcanos are not breedable yet. The resource golem in the past used to take a while to kill, but now with my aloe, it died pretty quickly. I also finally killed a prime dillo. Unfortunately, I got a little ahead of myself and got too confident and attacked an apex turtle. This would unfortunately be the cause of Baja's death. She did not deserve it. At the end of the day, I had crafted my first alpha kibble. Day 21 was a long day, mainly because I was trying to wait to get enough kibble so my first alpha tame wouldn't be trash. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I waited around and finally made my second alpha kibble. With the 2 alpha kibble at my disposal, I went out and tamed an alpha carno. By the time I had found a good level, it was basically day 22. On day 22, I made an alpha carno saddle for the alpha carno we tamed earlier. I put the saddle on the carno and named him 7. 7 starts off doing around 22,000 damage, which is really good, especially when you compare it to the Delta tier, which isn't really fair when you think about it, but you know. Our hardest hitter right out of the box was the Delta Dung Beetle, the first one, doing a little less than 6k damage. Even when I bred a really strong Delta Aloe, put many levels into melee, gave it pack leader, and even got it mate boosted, it was only doing around 50,000 damage. So this is a great improvement. I leveled 7 to 1.5 million health, and I'm gonna later be grateful for this because it's gonna save 7, I'm gonna be honest with you. Since 7 was about a million health short of being full health, I healed him with a dart. Then I killed a resource golem, and this time it was a piece of cake. After that, I killed an apex sarco. Later in the day, I came across a prime dillo, so I killed it with 7. In reality, low-level prime dillos should stand no threat to us, because I'm guessing they can do around 200,000 to 500,000 damage max. And having over 1 million health, I can probably take a few hits. However, I take that estimation from me, an idiot, with a grain of salt because I do not want to get any dinos killed on accident. With that being said, I will always treat prime dillos with caution. After that fiasco with the prime dillo, I killed my second resource golem, and then my third. Speaking of dillos, I attacked a fire dillo, assuming it probably wouldn't hurt too bad. But I forgot that prime is only tier 4 and the elemental tier is above it. So my statement from earlier, I'm gonna change it. I will always treat any dillo stronger than a prime dillo with caution. On day 23, I expanded my greenhouse because I felt like my crops weren't growing fast enough. I need to quickly get my alpha kibble so I can prepare my next army for the alpha boss. I mustn't waste any time, so I added 10 more crops to the greenhouse. I spent the rest of day 23 letting my crops grow a little bit. On day 24, I tamed an alpha mole rat. I made the saddle and then put it on the mole rat. I named the giant rat Alaska and basically immediately got it killed. Anyways, I was rolling around, testing out the rat, and I found this little island. So I rolled on into the party and started attacking stuff. I don't know what did it, but something knocked me off the mole rat. So I quickly ran away, getting 7 out of his soul ball so I wouldn't die. I took 7 to help Alaska with whatever he was fighting, and it was too late to soul ball Alaska to safety. So basically Alaska died because I didn't think about putting him in a soul ball fast enough. Turns out the thing we were attacking was a skeletal trike, and it wasn't very strong so I killed it with 7. It dropped 4 of these bones, whatever those do. On day 25, I made a delta sickle and harvested some fiber. Then I made 5 more alpha kibble. I have been looking around for an alpha aloe to tame, but I just have not been able to find one. So I decided to try out an alpha kentro. I thought that they would be a good candidate in the boss fight, because they would have a thorns effect that would help kill the boss. So I found a good level alpha kentro, knocked it out, and tamed it. It apparently doesn't have a saddle, so I gave it dino armor instead. This may come in handy, because the dino armor is relatively cheap compared to some saddles. The Kentro Bite does around 6k damage, which isn't really that impressive, but its tail attack does 26k, which is 4k more than 7's 22k, so that means we're off to a good start here. Its tail attack does not harvest corpses, but its bite attack does. Speaking of the bite attack, I used it to gather some rare flowers, because apparently the Kentro gathers rare flowers like a boss. I gathered almost 6k rare flowers with the Kentro. Then I leveled the Kentro to 2 million health. I also decided it was time to give the Kentro a name and get attached to it, so I named it Penetrator. Since I kept using the wrong darts, for example I would use the heal darts while shooting wild dinos and the trank darts while trying to heal my dinos, I decided to make a second rifle specifically for healing darts. With this new rifle, I healed Penetrator. On day 26, I tamed an Alpha Kentro, and with that means I have the 2 Alpha Kentros I need to start breeding. So with that being said, let the Alpha breeding montage begin. Alright guys, I've got almost 200, if not more than 200 alpha Kentros ready in this big ol' circle surrounding the altar. I have the equipment to start the boss fight, so I say we start the boss fight. Alright, so it's gonna take 1000 alpha blood, alpha crystals, 15 of those, and the delta skull, so here it goes. Actually, I don't know where I swear I had blood on me. That's stupid. Okay, so apparently I put my blood in my Supreme cauldron. That was dumb. I don't remember doing that. Alright, let's try this again. It should be everything. Here we go. It's gonna craft and then it'll spawn. So let's see what happens. I didn't make any of the boss armor or nothing because I actually didn't really feel like it. Alright, any second now. I'm kind of nervous. It said this boss would be pretty powerful. Alright, here we go. What's it gonna be? What the hell is that? Get him, boys! Oh, it's a wolf or something. Oh, this is so bad. Get him. Hey, you guys, get in there. I don't even know what's happening. Are we winning? I don't know. I can't do anything. Guys, get in there. I don't even know if we're gonna win this. This doesn't seem that good. This is literally so laggy. Why is this so laggy? We're gonna win? I don't know how much health it has. Okay, there goes our first one. Ooh, it hurts. It's annoying too. It's like a crying demon or something. Get them, boys. We're doing like so much damage, I think. Or it's just a lot of green numbers. I can't even tell. Oh, there we go. Oh no. Oh, they all fall. And they're all falling. Oh, they're all going. Oh, they're all going. They're all going. Oh my lord, dude. I can't even see. My whole screen is red. Oh, they're all dead. And it has 50 million health. Nah, dude. There's no way. There's no way, dude. That's whack. That is so dumb. That's ridiculous. Goodbye, penetrator. That is dumb. I quit. That's ridiculous. I spent 3 days breeding. I had like, I don't know. I could breed longer, but that's ridiculous. Why does it have 50 million health? Why does it need 50 million health? That makes no sense. Well, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not going to continue this. This is stupid. Bye-bye. I know it sounds like I'm complaining just a little bit, but I spent so long breeding these Kentros. It took about 3 in-game days, and they weren't the normal in-game days, okay? Whenever I breed, I literally slow the days down so long that a normal day is upwards of 4 hours, and so basically so I can have plenty of time to breed. Because the last thing I want to do is just waste time breeding, and you know, okay, so I just don't want that to happen, okay? So that's why I'm just explaining how it took so long, why it took so long, and it was still a loss. So it having 50 million health and each of my Kentros, the game lagging to all hell even, and you know, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to say. Like I said, I know it sounds like complaining, but I don't know. Not only did I basically waste my time, but I also wasted my resources. I put a lot of time and effort into it, but I put a lot of materials into my darts. I put a lot of time into imprinting them all. I spent a lot of time waiting for them to grow up, but like this is just like it seems unfair, really. It really does. And I couldn't find any aloes. I couldn't find any alpha aloes. I don't even think they spawn because I've literally not even seen one. I used the dino tracker and it never shows up. So alpha aloes are probably not a thing. So I couldn't use those again. I was hoping that with the thorns and the Kentros that maybe would be a lot, like really helpful, but obviously that didn't do anything either. So the outcome of this is just, it's heartbreaking. If you looked at the battle like just before it was about to start, you can see a lot of Kentros, and I promise you there were at least 200 Kentros there, and they were all imprinted. They all had at least like 8 melee mutations, maybe even 10. I don't really remember, and I know that's not a lot, but for me, when I breed, I'm not lucky, guys. I will have 10 different batches just to get the mutation I want. So I don't know, I'm just kind of losing my mind, okay? Well, it's come to my attention that I have not that much time left until I have literally no time in my day to actually do some of these things, and I just wanted to finish this video off just so you guys can actually just watch it and enjoy the before half of it that was actually decent. So, of course, that means Hirochi is going to be giving me a hand today. I plan on defeating the rest of the bosses, including the samurai monkey, but before we do get into that, we're going to have to finish off this big fire thing, this big shadow main fire direwolf thing that just seems to be causing a little bit of chaos over here. So it's a fire tempest. It looks like a direwolf, and it has 50 million health. So I'd say we give it a little bit of a tickle and put it out of its misery. There we go. That wasn't too hard. It's actually pretty easy. Almost broke a sweat, to be honest. It's actually kind of funny. Hirochi is so powerful that the game can't even recognize how much damage she's doing. So it's outputting about -2 billion damage, which is kind of funny because you think if it's doing negative damage, it'd be healing, but obviously it's killing them. So obviously it's doing damage. It's just so much damage that it kind of goes over the total amount that ARK can output and kind of like resets. So there's a total limit, and then once it gets past that limit, it goes back to 0, but it's still doing the same amount of damage as if it were doing the limit. For example, if the limit were 1 million and it was doing 1,000,001, the damage would look like 0, but it's still doing 1,000,001. So she's so powerful that it's doing -2 billion. So just do the math for that one. I'm also just gonna soak in all of the deaths in the bags over here that kind of just got combobulated and all that. And I'm also gonna take this. Not that I'll need it, but you know, look at all these Alpha Kentro bags. They lived long. Actually, no, they didn't really live that long, but he's dead. So that means we can go to the next tier and then the next tier and so on and so forth. I don't know how many bosses there are left, like maybe less than 10. And all of the Supreme boss altars break when they, you know, get used. So I'm gonna make like 10 of these. There we go. It should give us plenty of time and plenty of altars to use because they'll probably break each time. So if you can actually believe it or not, this is not Hirochi's most powerful form. You see, Hirochi is a very, very powerful wyvern, and she's about using 30% of her power right now. And if 30% of her power is -2 billion damage, that is over the limit of which ARK can see, you have to believe that if she uses all of her power, then the world is probably coming to an end. But you don't have to worry about that because she is completely fine and normal and happy, and I'll give you a warning in case she does ever feel like taking over the world, because she could do it. She could do it, but you know. Anyways, I think we should go to the next boss. I doubt the Apex boss is going to be that powerful, right? There's no way it can have like more than 100 million health, right? There's no way it's that powerful. Oh, it has 170 million health. I mean, like, that's okay, I guess. I mean, it's pretty weak, actually. Dude, I hit him so hard, he's still running. Should probably get that checked out, dude. There you go. So turns out the altar didn't break. I think maybe the boss breaks it. I don't know, but I killed the boss before he could actually start any drama, so I think that's kind of the reason it's not broken. So I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. So the Apex boss had about 170 million health. Like, I mean, that's a good amount. I mean, it's no Hirochi amount, but like, I mean, it's all right, I guess. There's no way the Prime is gonna be like any more, you know. He has a cool entrance though, like it's different, I guess. I don't know, it's supposed to be like, what is he, Terminator? Oh, hello. Okay, goodbye. Oh, I killed him so fast, he didn't even give me no reward. Tell me we gotta go through that again? I guess we'll let him attack us next time. So since last time we killed him so unbelievably fast that the game didn't even want to give us our rewards, maybe the game actually thinks we're cheating, which is funny you'd ask, when Hirochi obviously isn't a cheat. You know, she's basically just like any other wyvern, she just happens to be the strongest. So with that note, maybe we should let it give us a little bit of a nibble, right? Why can't you even hurt us, bro? You're really that weak? I don't have God on. See, now God mode's on. See, God mode's on now. See, watch. Now turn it off. Boom, God mode's off. Can't even touch me? Weak. Very, very weak. Turn into a firework. Awesome. I think that's good for us to learn, though. Maybe we should give them a chance, right? Give them a chance to maybe at least think they could damage Hirochi. But I guess, unfortunately, they're just not powerful enough. Maybe the samurai monkey will be. So I actually wanted to fight all 3 of the elemental bosses at once, but it just wouldn't let me. So I guess we just got to do them one at a time, which I think is actually pretty unfortunate, because if I were doing a speed run, it would kind of make my time a little bit higher, and that's not so good. So with tradition, the boss spawns basically out of nowhere, and this time it looks like spray paint or like powder paint. Oh, it's a big spider. You do damage? No. Ooh, guys, it hit me. Oh no, it hit. Okay, you broke my altar. Honestly, bro, not even that cool. I don't actually think that one was supposed to give me anything besides that, because I had to fight 2 more of the bosses, and it's not really that cool, dude. I wanted to do them all 3 at a time, but I guess it just underestimates Hirochi's power. Oh well, I guess we'll fight the fire boss now. I thought the electric boss actually did damage, but it just destroyed the boss altar, which, I don't know about you, I find that disrespectful. Oh well, look at that. That's original. It's coming out from the open portal from hell. Makes sense to me. Looks like it to you guys, right? It's like a crack from hell. Oh, of course, it's a flying flying ant. Why wouldn't it be a flying ant? Are you going to notice me? Ooh, it hit it? Did it, or did it hit me? No, it hit the boss altar. It's not very cool, dude. You really should watch your temper next time. It's weird. Oh, you know what? It destroyed my trough, dude. That's not cool. That's very disrespectful, actually. And with that being said, I guess we have to take on the frost boss. I hope it's gonna be like a snowman, but I doubt it. Put your guesses in the comments below what boss you think this is. If you know what boss it is, and comment what boss you think it should be, because obviously if you already know what boss it is, you're cheating. I, on the other hand, think it's gonna be a mammoth. That'd be pretty cool. I swear I have not looked at it, so if it's a mammoth, it is purely coincidental, but it's probably like, I don't know. Of course it's a scorpion. Why wouldn't it be a scorpion? Makes sense to me. Makes total sense to me. And so now that we actually have everything for the elemental tiered boss, which is like, I don't know, fire, frost, and electricity. Don't know what that could be, but it does mean that we have to fight it in this little Meeseeks looking cube. So I guess we'll summon it and see if it can actually hurt Hirochi. Probably not. What boss do you think this is gonna be? Like I said, if you know it, comment down below what you think it should be, because if you already know it, obviously you're cheating. I think it would be pretty cool if it was like a rock golem. That's the only thing I could actually see fit it, you know, like a rock golem with like a fire left fist and electric a stomach or something, and an ice right fist or something. I don't know, but it's actually pretty. It's snowing, and then it's a metal brood mother. Makes sense. Hey, you know what? What would be really funny is if you actually like touched me. You can't even cocoon me, dude. That's how weak you are. And I still don't have God mode on. But I guess it thinks it would take 30 minutes to beat this. But it wouldn't even take me 30 seconds if I didn't give it a chance. Is it hurting itself? That would be funny. Why does it have 1,000 million out of 1 billion health? Okay, now it has 1 billion health now. Okay, goodbye. I gave it a chance, but it just wouldn't prove its worth, you know? It wouldn't do it. Oh, hey, look, we got a whatever that is. Cool. I'm gonna harvest the corpse now. Well, I've been clicking for about 2 minutes now, and it won't go away, so I'm guessing this is just a trophy now. Speaking of trophy, I think this would be pretty sick to get a trophy of. Oh yeah. Hope that actually looks like that and not some stupid other thing, because that looks pretty sick. Elemental? Nah, not really, but it does look pretty sick. So in order to actually fight the samurai monkey, we gotta kill the ladies and the lords, which are these big things. Like, this is the lady of the beach, and it looks like a fish tank, a literal fish tank. And why does it have a waterfall of sand? I could not tell you. But it says it's a part of the old endgame, so it might be a bit buggy and easy defeat. Extremely easy defeat. You, my friend, actually have the right vocabulary with this one. Goodbye. That was pretty easy. It really actually was pretty easy. That's pretty crazy. So the Lord of the Swamp is a big lily pad. And, well, it has the same description. Pretty easy defeat. So, yeah, I guess it was pretty easy to defeat. Lord of the Snow and Lady of the Desert haven't actually spawned, so I guess they've actually gotten the memo that Hirochi is around and would probably kill them easily, so they just didn't want to show up to work today. But with that being said, I can still summon this big samurai monkey, so I guess we can give it a few minutes to maybe just like look and be all amazed and just look in its glory, right? Because it's not gonna last more than a second. But if, just hear me out. Just had a shrug while saying that. Oh, hey, look, the death worm's still there. Even if it may not be able to hurt us, we can still actually maybe try to befriend it, right? I mean, it is a samurai monkey. You look awesome, okay? You look sick. Woobly, I'm sorry. I know you're probably not happy about if you're watching this. I get it. But damn, dude, you did a really good job with this model. He looks awesome. Really sucks, though, honestly. Wow. That's a real shame. He looked cool, though. He looked awesome. So, guys, with that being said, our journey has come to an end. I had a lot of fun as long as I was here, but I'm starting my life, okay? And I don't care if you are mad. I don't care if you are upset. If you are any of those, go ahead, feel free to comment down below how much I cheated. The algorithm loves that, so by all means, go ahead and do that. Woobly, like I said like 5 seconds ago, I am sorry. I love this mod, man. You put your heart into it, but sometimes it's more fun to break the rules, so I had a lot of fun playing it, dude, and I can't wait for you to finish it, and sometime in the future I will actually play it, and Hirochi will continue to just be my shoulder mount, but I had to whip out Hirochi, okay? I didn't use her in the hunted, and honestly I should have. I think we would have won if I even just had her as 5% power, you know? She was there for me in the Primal Fear, and she was here for me in the ARK Supreme. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this, it would mean the world to me if you did subscribe, because 98% of you aren't subscribed, and even if just 5 5% of you guys subscribed, I would have almost 30,000 subscribers. So help a brother out and just hit that red button. It would mean the world to me. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.